Is selling on Whatnot viable? It's a real, legitimate question, and part of that question comes from when you go to the videos that exist on selling Magic cards on Whatnot. You've got this guy. I watched it. Really cool guy. Commandeer Coliseum. I can move my face. Cool guy. Great video. Very interesting. I'll get back to it. But as you'll notice, Pokemon sports cards. This guy's talking about Pokemon. This is just selling stuff generally. This guy, this video is about buying on Whatnot, why you should buy Magic cards on Whatnot. And so we'll get to that too. What else? So, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of videos on on selling Magic cards on Whatnot. There's this guy, and this guy made a great video, and basically his video, he talks about a year on Whatnot. He didn't make any money. He made a tiny bit of money, maybe. It was like, but he worked really, really hard for a year and he made no money. So pretty crazy. And that other video, I guess I should show that one too. So this guy who's like, I won the prize. So he talks about how he was on a special stream and there was this like kind of bingo card prize thing. And if you bought something at the right time, you could win the ultimate prize. And he did. So one more pack here won a serialized card, which is pretty cool. So cool video. I'm glad he made it. This is from 3 years ago. So there's not a lot of content on Whatnot when it comes to Magic. There is for Pokemon and sports cards. Not a lot when it comes to Magic. And then the content that there is doesn't make it seem like selling is really great when it comes to making money. Now, I've sold on Whatnot. I can share from my own experience. And what's interesting is that making money on Whatnot is hard. It is hard because there are so many great deals for buyers on Whatnot because, I mean, you just think about this. So if I have a rare card, if I have a Smothering Tithe, and I have a lobby of even 40 people. So if I start it at $1, and it's like, well, why would you do that? Yeah, we'll get that. But if I start it at $1, let's pretend that someone in that lobby did want to buy it at its full market price. Let's say that was $40. So this person is willing to bid up to $40. If there isn't one more person in that lobby who was planning on paying full price for a Smothering Tithe, then it will sell for less than full price, which it can be okay. There's benefits to this, but basically what it means is that it's very, very hard to get market price for cards on Whatnot. You're often, for the high value cards, you're going to sell it under market by a significant amount. So for example, a Smothering Tithe, you put it at $1, it's going to get bid up. People are willing to spend $10, $20, $30 on a Smothering Tithe, but that $40 guy, and then the second person. So it's the second person that sets the price, right? The second person wasn't planning on buying a Smothering Tithe that day. They may be willing to spend $32. And then the $40 guy is willing to spend $40, but he doesn't have to. He can spend $33, and that guy will win it, right? So you end up selling a Smothering Tithe for whatever, 15% below market, which there's benefits to that, which the benefit is speed, right? If you have a bunch of cards, like if I had to sell an entire collection tonight, like if somebody had this weird stipulation where they're like, hey, here's my collection and I will give it to you, but only if you sell every single card tonight, I would sell it all on Whatnot because it'd be quick. Whatnot takes care of the shipping for you, the labels and things like that. So there's a lot of benefits to Whatnot. The downsides, of course, is that you're not getting full market value. So is there any other main points that need to be made when it comes to selling on Whatnot? There are ways to make money relative to, because, if you have TCG Player and you have a store, you have eBay, why would you ever sell on Whatnot? And that's a fair question. So there are times where you make money on Whatnot. One example is selling sealed packs. Now, sealed packs for Magic aren't going to do as well as sealed packs for other card games like Pokemon. But if you can get people that are interested in buying sealed packs from you and opening them live, then you can make good margins on that. One example is collector sample packs from old commander decks, because they stopped doing collector sample packs in the new commander decks. But if you have collector sample packs, I have found that those do really well and whatnot. I'm able to, I mean, the market price for like a Tarkir Dragonstorm collector sample pack is like $3 on TCG Player, I believe. Let me, I can fact check myself while I'm talking, but you go on Whatnot and you can sell those things for $4. And now Whatnot also, something to keep in mind is their fee structure. They take 30 cents out of each sale. So if you're selling cards for $1, you're not actually getting the like 85% that you would get on like TCG Player. You're getting 85% minus 30 cents, which is going to be, for $1 card, 55%. It's dismal. So if you're happy to sell a card for 55 cents, then selling cards at $1 is another good way, by the way. So what are we talking about? We're talking about selling packs, and that selling packs can be good if you get people to, show interest, be interested. Yeah, see, let me share my screen. Yes, this is the Tarkir Dragonstorm, $3, and then there's shipping costs, but the shipping's free over $5. So basically, these packs, collector sample packs, are $3 packs. I can sell these on Whatnot for $4. Not all day, like interest does die out, but people have a good time with these, and so there's some opportunity there if you're able to get them. I don't know if you could flip and make profit. Like, I guess could do some math. So if I bought 100 of these for $3 each, you spent $300, and then so your cost base is $300, and then you sell it for $400 times 0.85 minus 30 cents times 400 minus 0.3 times 400. Rip. Yeah, so that wouldn't turn a profit. But anyways, I get them from boxes that I open. So for me, it's just like I could sell it at $3, or I can sell it on Whatnot for $4. So that's better. Okay, what else? What else can you make money? So selling singles. You can make money selling singles, but it has to be a single that's worth less than like 55 cents. Or sometimes singles do get bid up. Now, a game that people can play is like, if there's enough people, it's possible that Smothering Tithe won't just sell for $33. Maybe it'll sell for 40 or 45. And then you can start being worth it. It's a risky game, and I don't think on average that works. But if you have 55-cent cards and you sell those for $1 on Whatnot or $2 on Whatnot, and they're not always going to sell because people are going to look at them and be like, why would I buy that card for $1? But sometimes they will. Sometimes they're like, oh, that is a cool card. I want it. It's just $1. I will pick that up. And that's something you can make money on. The last thing that's particularly interesting to me as a potential way for making money on Whatnot are bulk lots, and particularly bulk lots of rare cards that are all in top loaders. Now, hear me out, because I've seen this once on exactly one live stream. Shortly after Final Fantasy came out, there's this guy who was selling on Whatnot, and he had hundreds of rares and mythics in top loaders from Final Fantasy. Now, these rares and mythics are not worth anything. These were all like quarter cards or whatever, 25-cent cards. But what he did was he started an auction, and then he threw 10 of them on the table. So it go from $1 to $2 to $5. And as it went up, he'd throw 10 more on the table. And then soon before you know it, it's going $10, $15, $20, $25, $30. Once there's $30, boom, 10 more on the table. And there's this frenzy going on. And I saw multiple people buy a bunch of top-loaded rares for 80, 85, 100, 110 bucks. And I even saw in the comments, people are like, hey, these cards aren't worth much. But then somebody else said, like, well, but it's good value, though. Like, you're getting a lot of rares for your money. And he's like, yeah, I guess that's true. So even the naysayers in the comments section were like, not comments section, what is it? The live chat were like, oh, this is actually like not a bad deal, but which is wild, because that's the first time I've seen a business model and whatnot that actually would make money, which is that you have a ton of rares mythics, you're throwing them down, people are getting excited, and now there's a lot of people watching this live stream, at least 50. So, you know, it takes a certain number of people for that kind of level of excitement to exist and then to do it. And honestly, even then, like, man, if you're able to sell 100 rares for $100 and whatnot, that is great money. Like, wow, 100, 25-cent rares. That's some good margins, really good margins right there. But even then, it's not guaranteed. I mean, people could bid it up, they could not bid. What kind of stuff do you need to give away and start with in order to get the 50 people in the room so that thing works? Still unknown. I'm going to have to play with it to actually find out if that works. But anyways, that is the summary of Whatnot for now. I'm going to continue to sell on Whatnot. Actually, it's pretty fantastic. I guess you should follow me. You should follow me on Whatnot. I'll put my link in the description. But it's a good time. It's really fun. But is it my best method for making money? I guess we'll see. But so far, no, definitely not. So anyways, stay tuned.